Hello everybody, welcome back to another brand new video, and once again to be always that I am Golden Devin-Foxy Remastered, and I do want to talk about 2024. So, here it is now, since even though we're directly nearly like to be at, I think we're pretty much near like almost 4, near 3 exactly, because I'm actually am deciding to put this on a pretty much on a premiere video on the 29th. So, here's how I'm going to say this of 2024. Now remember, there's going to be some good and there's going to be some bad. And some parts of the time where I will go on and say how the year was for me in 2024 before I will actually say that 2025, when the new year starts, will be an official. Now, like I said, don't get me wrong, when I say some videos are good in 2024. When I say some of them were good, it means thumbs up. But if some of them weren't that good, it's a thumbs down. And if some of them were or not to almost be similarly be close from one another, then it's more likely at the center, which means it's more of a third vote by saying that it all goes from half and half. So here's how I'm going to say this in 2024. And also, just want to let everybody else know that again, I actually am going to be making a few videos for a bit. Like, let's just say that it has been a little bit unfinished, a little bit about me talking about, like, movie Sonic 3, which I will jump to that sooner or later to be on the 30th or something, because, like I said, I do have lots of stuff to be going on with, so, yeah. Only like a few stuff, and then that's when I'll say Happy New Year's of 2025, which I probably won't be posting for a while or making videos for a bit. It's because that there's like different things I have to deal with in my life, just like outside of stuff from newly YouTube or so-called. I'm not going to be mentioning the second one because, like I said, I just am not, okay? I just really am not. So, like I said, there has been some stress that I don't want to be going on with because, trust me, I will start yelling the fuck out with every word I'll say out there. Most likely sometimes, but directly I've always been in control of myself. Whenever I listen to meditation videos, well, I actually be thankful for a lot of things. For good things I did, for good stuff and outside, and then from the inside, from different direction parts that I do. So remember, again, if I hear a word that gets me angry, then don't test me because I don't like being tested by similar people that might actually say is like, "Oh, I think they're stronger than me." Like, seriously, I just don't like being tested all the time. I just really don't. Like, again, my anger remains to be a curse for so many times already. Like, it will go on in some different parts, but whenever there's a chill side, well, me not getting angry at stuff, then it's exactly why I reflect and take my stress off. And some other times where I actually will go off recording just to do in my daily life, in parts of the way I deal with things in different times. And remember, I'm no liar. If I ever was a liar, I would have been saying some stuff being lied to me about, which I don't lie to stuff. So again, I'm just going to pretend just to just not say anything during like almost like the 4 minute mark at that one. So without that being said, let me just get to the point right now since I actually am trying to be aware of my ears not to be red because trust me, I've always been aware of my anger and stuff because like I said, I have anger issues. Okay? If anybody is new about what I'm talking about, or if anybody's new on the channel to know what I'm talking about, or not knowing what I'm talking about, the reason why I'm saying this, if anybody's new to this channel a bit, then that's exactly why you will actually understand. Is that again, if I actually have stress meter or have stress level, it means don't push me too hard. And if it is, I'll actually do the same back because it won't be that funny. It really seriously am not. Because like I said, I have gone through immaturity loads of times when I'm serious. I'm serious. I don't play jokes sometimes. Because whenever I do like playing jokes, it's only for a me thing. But whenever it isn't, Seriously, do not put me in the train. I really am not. So, anyways, I'm not here to make this as like a, oh, he's gonna get mad or whatever thing. So remember, I'm going to be talking about 2024. Why was it good or why was it bad or for whatever reason it is, I will probably explain it through like January through December, which we're already in December anyway, before 2025 is born, which I'll be gladly to be happy that things comes back to being the way it is. So, here's what I'm going to say right now in 2024, which I'll go on and say about that. So, here I'm going to say this already and just mention the fact on January 2024. So, here's what I'm going to say right now of this, of course, that, well, yes, I'm going to say this that I will probably be stopping on which video I'll actually be saying which one was pretty good and which one wasn't. So, here's what I'm going to say when I did this. Whenever I mentioned this in like January 11th of 2024. So, in that year of 2024 of January 11th. So, here's how I'm going to say this when I made the video about me mentioning Total Drama Revenge of the Island. So, here's what I'm going to say about that, by the way, is that, listen, about season 4, well, again, YouTube definitely kind of didn't let me wanted me to do it on a stream anyway because you know why? Because that's why I've been trying to be aware not to do it again. So again, I kept it sealed the whole time and didn't want to do it. So that's probably a valuable lesson that I probably wouldn't do anyway. Because again, the problem was that my camera was disoriented the whole time. Whenever some audio was cutting the fuck off or a few times for whatever, but it just did so many less than times for different reasons it does it. So, that's just what I want to say for right now of why was it pretty shitty. So, again, I did mention the fact about like season 4. So, here's what I said in my reason about season 4. So, the reason why I actually talked about Total Drummer Island, Revenge of the Island, is because one, I actually was saying which ones was better in season 4. That yes, season 4 was actually pretty better. Which, I mean, if people did say that it was so stupid or pretty bad, I could agree a little bit less of nevertheless that it kind of was shitty from different times of like the different outcomes of it from season 4 for some other times. But when it's just like some characters I just don't actually like some parts of those times, I actually sometimes get pissed. Very a bit angry and a little bit mad about some characters that didn't do even that well or just did a little bit bad. Now, like I'm just saying, I technically just blame any characters just because I have different opinion. Doesn't mean I actually will go on and full out and say it's like, someone's doing this, someone's disqualifying in the competition and doing like the challenges of interfering things. That's just what I'm going to say is that sometimes I'll always will say this, that I've always hated Cameron in season 5, which we're not even there already. That's when I'll actually jump the gun and point that out anyway in the obvious. So, I'm going to still continue going back with season 4 for me talking on this for a little bit of season 4 of why was it kind of good and then a few less more being bad. So, in a few other episodes I did watch, while season 4 was on the other hand, which like I said, I could rewatch some parts what I will say right now for some other good reasons, or maybe some less of them, but what I'm gonna say that I've always hated Cameron in season 4 because seriously, he's like the next nerd version of damn Harold, which even is a little shorter, and then also a little bit of the simplified of Cody, which, trust me, it really is. Which I don't even know what to expect that anymore. Which the only people I kind of liked from season 4 was just I kind of laughed my eyes. I kind of did laugh my ass off when Lightning was still gonna consider by saying that Joe's a dude, and I'm like, what the hell did I kept hearing from this guy when he kept saying like shabam so many times that Scott had to shut him up? Which, bruh, Like, you cannot be telling me that Lightning just continues saying the word shabam, and then by saying it's like, it's cool, dude. Like, whenever in the cave episode, when again in that episode where that just happened, I'm like, dude, Lightning, you do realize that Joe is a girl, right? J-O. I'm just talking about the J-O part, not with an E. So, again, I barely just kind of laughed my ass off on that one. It was like, yo, what the hell, Lightning? Like, what the hell, man, did you just say? Like, dude, brother, you do not know what a girl is. Like, I can never believe why. Which, I mean, sure, I kind of did laugh at a few similar parts where Lightning and Joe were actually kind of like, kind of teasing each other for a bit, or just kind of like fighting off for a bit, or no reason. But the only thing I kind of say that I think who was even better was kind of like Brick. Now, don't get me wrong about Brick. It's because the reason why I think Brick was kind of okay as a military person from the military, I think that whenever Brick, on the other hand, was actually a pretty good contestant. He was actually pretty good. I mean, even though that he did kind of wet his pants afterwards, like, he is kind of close with Cody, I think. Like, I remember the time when there's most of that being piss wetters or being a little bit pee wetters, I think. But the only thing I think Brick was a good person a little bit in the show was because I think he was a pretty good guy, actually, when he was like a person that he salutes for his own soldiers for a little bit by actually like giving him like the good old salute before he was kind of tossed, exactly before Lightning and Joe were actually tossing him out, which I was like, damn. I'm like, damn, that really happened. Like, I'm like, damn, that just happened, man. Like, it really just happened. I'm like, damn, Lightning and Joe. I'm like, seriously, tough damn. So, that's just all I want to say. Most likely, as always, it's just that I find it pretty funny and I find that hilarious. So, here's the next person I'm going to probably be talking about was just like, Anne Maria. Yes. So, Anne Maria kind of had a thing from Mike, and I'm like, damn, really? Like, of course, it was like the voice impressions, or a little bit like the disability order, I think, that Mike already had, I think, was like the most multiple personality thing. Which, seriously, I really don't get the fact how I really hated Mike in so many times from 5, I think. It sucked like complete garbage. Which, seriously, like I still said, we're completely not there already. But I think I looked on a little bit on season 4 how I think it went pretty interesting how the way it went down for a little bit of season 4. Of however that some things to season 4 were pretty alright though. But like I said, I never kind of liked it Mike after when he was trying to be a bit of a secretive person for a little bit. It's not like I don't side with Scott because oh trust me, he's going to be the only one getting trashed next from number 5. That I might spill through a lot of smack talking for every single one. You know, every smack talk everywhere else. Period. So, as in for like kind of everybody else, that everybody else was still good in some other ones. And I think Zoe, oh yeah, I think that I like Zoe when she did so well in some parts of the time before she didn't completely get her butt sent home anyway. Like before the 2 finale even showed up, like it was becoming to be like Cameron or Lightning, and I'm like, Jesus, god damn, we're gonna see where this turns out. Like, okay, now this really brought some interest. A little bit how Zoe even made that far, I think. Like, the only thing I think was kind of a little bit odd to me was just like, not why even have like similar characters that could have been replaced by Cameron or Lightning to be off for the finale. Which, like I said, it could have been better, but all I could say, if it is what it is, it just is what it is. For so many times I could say it otherwise. So, as I did say again, most likely all of it was pretty great. Even though that my boy Duncan finally got to be in somewhere, I'm like, hell damn yes. For 1,000% hell yes. Like, seriously, I literally have to say that my guy Duncan trolled the hell out of Chris whenever it was pretty much back in Rush, like in the mountains of Chrismore. I'm like so laughing after that. Like, seriously, nobody does not prank my boy like that. Even hilariousness that goes on for that. So, in my case of it, Season 4 was okay, but until a few things that were pretty much likely just to go on elsewhere, then yeah, pretty much. So, here's the next one I actually have selected. The next one I'll be talking about is Verbal Ace. Which, like I said, I don't blame Verbal Ace on different certain occasions. Like, it's not about the emanation of the episodes I don't blame him about him doing. It's just that sometimes that some things went definitely on a different slope with Verbal Ace, which I seriously couldn't even know what the hell was going on with him for that reason. But I'm not going to be the only one consuming the brag too much about Verbal Ace, even though, like I said, I don't want to be involved with the guy who pretty much consumes to make the episodes of the cartoon beatbox thing, and then goes to the regular ones of puppet beatboxing, which that's exactly what I'm going to say already, because like I said, I did pick my votes from season 1. I did pick my obvious ways by seeing my way, which I did absolutely pick that answer. But for season 2, what Verbal Ace was doing, he kind of cut slack off season 2 afterwards, which again, I still don't blame him for doing so, because the only thing I voted for was Shadow. I mean, the reason why I voted for Shadow the Hedgehog to win over than Vegeta was because I think Shadow throwed hard amounts of smack right at pretty much Vegeta's face, even though that Vegeta actually throwed it too hard on Shadow for so many shitty things after he definitely made a Maria joke, and I'm like, yo, what the hell? Like, bro, like, you cannot be kidding me. Like, I have always been a Sega person other than a Dragon Balls person. Because, I mean, let's just be for real. I've always been into some characters, things, that's just like, says I'm more of a Nintendo person, Sega, or whatever, that I've pretty much likely to pretty much like as for many of the years as I liked, then yes, it remains some parts of being true, and some parts of that remains to be false. Which, like I said, that'll be kind of open into some different new interests, as long as some of those do not, and I mean 100% legitimate, doesn't piss me off. For some different things, I will probably disagree more likely, or I would actually agree to put that up as a thumb up. So, when Verbal Ace started doing his puppet beatboxing thing, I kind of had to say was just like, ooh, okay. That there I think was pretty interesting. But like I said, I probably would rather have to save my entire votes at the very end after when he finishes like puppet beatboxing thing or whatever he just does or whatever. But to me, it might only extent that I have to say currently and directly is that if he ever does finish like the whole season 1 version of like puppet beatboxing and things, then I probably will be damned to see who probably even wins. Which, trust me, I'm gonna watch the whole thing when he actually makes and see how good it does. And you know who I'll be voting for? Whenever some characters I completely like the most. And then even though like I said again, that most people say is like you gotta vote for the person who pretty much does more of the disses or big disses or whatever. Like it's just like about whoever wins the most like with the rap or whatever or just does beatboxing. So again, I gotta say that I've pretty much been a lot honest that yes, I'll actually be talking about like from like 1 through 3, even though that he did mention that there'll be a fourth coming around this sooner or later the next year, I think, whenever he does get started with like, oh, he'll start mentioning about Cuphead and Bendy afterwards when I did heard him say that before, which I was like, that would be interesting. That would be actually interesting. So, who did I voted for in episode 1? Was it Freddy Fazbear or was it Chuck E. Cheese? Well, the only answer I voted for was Freddy Fazbear. And you know what? You guys want to know why I voted for Freddy? The reason why Freddy Fazbear damn won that one in the first episode he freaking won was because I seriously love the way how he really just remixed it the same music that was in the theme of the original Tombstone. And I'm like, holy crap! Like, Freddy Fazbear destroyed Chuck E. Cheese, destroyed the Chucky Mouse. Like he destroyed him in one bit hits. Afterwards, when he starts throwing massive crap, and I'm like, wow, I never knew how Freddy Fazbear smacked the hell out of that rat. which was so funny. I like the fact when Freddy was saying was like, "Oh boy, I'm gonna hit somebody, like I'm gonna smack that rat," like even though sometimes I may get or not get much of the lyrics sometimes, which I kind of like the way how Freddy was just throwing him the hell away out of this one, was just so good. So bloody good that Freddy Fazbear did that. Really good. And then the fact on the second episode, I definitely did want to say who probably won. Oh yes, I was right again. Freddy Fazbear so had won that rap. He really won that beatboxing of that puppet beatboxing, which I have seriously had no idea why I even mentioned rap back there. But again, I'm just going to mention back to the assuming with beatboxing. So, Freddy Fazbear won the very first one, and I'm like, yes! Let's go, Freddy! And I'm like, yes! I want to see Freddy Fazbear totally winning that battle. He so won. And now I'm going to be mentioning with number 2 with SpongeBob versus Bob Belcher. Well, here's what I'm going to say about this. Okay, so like I said, I probably would rather say SpongeBob wins. The reason why I'm saying SpongeBob totally wins this one is because he seriously just destroyed Bob Belcher in so many few ways that he keeps mentioning about like his burgers being closed out of business, and then he starts making a wife joke after when the banks were gonna just take Bob Belcher's wife to the bank. Like, Jesus goddamn SpongeBob. Like, seriously, I laughed off my seat when SpongeBob totally dissed the hell out of Bob, which I was starting to like how I actually voted for SpongeBob in number 2, which I voted for him, and he won. I liked it when SpongeBob won that battle. He seriously won. And actually started beating Bob Belcher in that one, even though that there were so many good ones. Like, I so enjoyed it. Like, even though, seriously, I laughed right off out of there. And he actually won so many times that SpongeBob kept getting so much better for many reasons. Like, hey, it's back to the same genre, back to the season 1 cartoon beatbox battles thing, which he started completely beating most everybody else except Deadpool. And I'm like, seriously, I voted for SpongeBob in that one. And then obviously Deadpool was the one who kept still going after SpongeBob by calling him like the word I'm not going to say anyway, because I'm just not going to. So, yeah, I'm like, Jesus, damn, Deadpool, are you kidding me? Like, I liked my boy Patrick when he beat his ass on that one in the very finale, because Patrick already won. I seriously enjoyed it that much, because I really seriously did. So, that's how Bob Belcher lost to pretty much SpongeBob for that one, and I'm like, thank God he finally beat him. But the real question is Robo Ace going to kind of actually be having a Five Nights at Freddy's versus Nickelodeon thing going on? Like, really bringing that out. Which, whenever there's like a semifinal or whatever, if Robo Ace does kind of like briefly to mention the fact about Freddy or SpongeBob actually going on to fight each other, which I'd be gladly to see how that plays out with that. Which, if it's Foxy in this, if it's Foxy in that beatbox solo, I'm going to vote for Freddy. But if my boy Patrick gets there, oh, I'm voting for SpongeBob. Like, trust me, if there's both, I'm like, whoa! You telling me now? Like, you gotta be telling me if I'm a third vote for seeing this. Like, if you're gonna be telling me there's a third vote, I really want to see that happening, if that was ever necessary. Which, like I said, I'm making guesses, which I don't have to be the one assuming to say is like, oh, I'm right again, am I? Well, I'm just making obviouses as I'm really making it to be, to making that obvious, or a little bit more likely my kind of guess. So, what I'm gonna say next is about with Bowser and Eggman. Okay, so in the third episode where I saw was like Bowser versus Eggman. Now the reason who I voted for in this battle, which was super hard of me to vote for who I would have think who did. Which I mean, again, Waluigi did not disrespect. Waluigi did not deserve to get tossed. Whenever that he became like a freaking egg and started cracking the hell out of Waluigi. Which, like I said, I really don't hate Waluigi. I only liked Wario, most likely totally, because I've always liked Wario, because I liked his voice impression, even though that sometimes Wario could be a bit of a greedy character sometimes. which I liked playing the character as Wario, which, hey, it doesn't make me being greedy if I did his voice. I'm just getting good with the voice as I go. Just do like very good business as doing his Wario, because Wario and myself supposed to pretend that that Wario knows about a bit business, which I've always liked Wario. Trust me, I've already did. Even hell, I've actually played on my freaking Nintendo Switch, for crying out loud, about me playing it with like WarioWare Getting Together, and plus that game was amazing. It seriously was. Until I found something on my phone that I actually screenshotted was another WarioWare one on the Switch. It's called Move It. Like, I figured why on that. I just really figured it. So, that's just what I want to say right now. So, who did I voted for? Well, I think I voted for Bowser. Just because I voted for him doesn't mean I actually voted for Eggman. Because Eggman was kind of actually wearing like the wrong kind of suit. Because it kind of refers almost likely to movie Eggman. Like, I cannot believe how that was so a little bit confusing for some reason. Because, like I said, I don't blame movie characters to be modern. Because I've only liked movie characters when they're movie characters. But when I like modern characters when they're modern characters, then I like it when they're just moderns. Pardon me. When they just had moderns. Yes. So, that's just what I want to say, and that's just why I want to get my point on this. It's because I voted for Bowser. Yes, I voted for Bowser, which I did say rip Waluigi, which that's why I said, because I kind of felt bad for Waluigi actually being tossed in this one for this solo in there, which I did feel bad for Waluigi already, since that kind of sucks. And also, I kind of like the fact when Bowser started like referencing like pretty much like the painter on television, and I'm like, damn, did he really mention that? Like, Bowser keeps calling it like Dr. Eggman, Robotso Gotso. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, did Bowser really mention a guy who started like painting? Like, started painting on the picture. Like, actually doing actual paint. And I'm like, damn. Like, really damn. And then, of course, now that Bowser did all those beats were so perfect. And I like the fact after when he kept using Sonic for so many times that Bowser was saying is like, that Sonic was doing his job way better than Eggman's. And I'm like, damn, Bowser really had a throw down on that. I was like, okay. I'm like, okay. That's how Bowser throwed a good throwdown. And I'm like, damn, okay. He fought a good showdown. That was pretty sick. It was actually pretty sick. Until there were some good ones after when Eggman started like, I don't know, starting like this saying the swear bits of Bowser as well. After when I heard like, let's just say movie Eggman, which should have just been Eggman, not as a puppet, that is not a movie version of Eggman, which it could have been a regular Eggman anyways where Bowser was. Like a little amount of like most likely. But even though that movie versions were kind of similar to be confusing and different sometimes, then I don't know what else to say on that, of course. So, for now, guys, all I wanted to say is that, yes, I clearly voted for Bowser in episode 3. There you go. I voted for him because he won the entire thing and started smack talking Eggman in the whole time in the battle, even though that Orbot and Killbot actually betrayed Eggman off his back. Whenever that Bowser started mentioning like a Vention Con. Like, he started mentioning that, and Shadow started to pretty much put the loser sign up on Eggman, and I'm like, yo, how did Shadow even got here? Wasn't Shadow supposed to probably lose to Vegeta? Which I'm like, Jesus, goddamn. I just didn't even have one simple question of like, why was Shadow actually there when he was literally at the Vention Con? With the two assistants that Eggman always talks to about getting like his robots and his minions to attack Sonic all day. So that's probably what happened, I think. That's just what I probably would have said at the least. So, until I'm going to see what's going to happen in episode 4 by Robo Ace, whether it's going to be this year or next year, I'm going to be so excited to watch it again. I'm going to be excited to see what episode 4 looks like. Or maybe again on different similar episodes where all of them could probably reach into the big finale or in the semifinal. which I'd be glad to hear from what Ace might do or whatever. But like I said, I just am probably not gonna blame him too much of like how much good emanation stuff that he puts in there for some other parts and sometimes of it. But again, I'm just really am not gonna blame him for sometimes. Like I mean, again, am I gonna kind of blame him on some kind of times? Well, it's gonna be kind of a hard question since I probably am not on both sides on either the story. It's just that I was like, bruh, how do you make that kind of freaking dollars? Like, I know there was like a rumor for some reason about like, oh, Verbal Ace was gonna be the one who got roomed by some reason by a few other rumors. Well, I just probably have seen that I'm not gonna hardly ask, even though I did kind of remembered of it by the way, was just that yeah. Seriously, I'd pretty much say so. Now, let's just jump into like me mentioning about Finance of Freddy's 4 Revisited. So, here's what I'm going to say about Finance of Freddy's 4 Revisited. So, the reason why I jumped into Finance of Freddy's 4 Revisited was because I actually wanted to do a second rematch again. Like, it was going to be the second match. Because I really wanted to do a rematch between me facing the Nightmare animatronics in the game, which I definitely wanted to do that again because it kind of would actually feel give me the good genre that it would bring me some good joyness into that and bring back some good old scares and good old completions of like getting near 6 a.m. and some stuff. But I will say this, that it was pretty good. I'll be completely honest with everybody, that it was actually pretty good. And even if anybody did not know I had pretty much headphones in my ears, yes, I did have headphones in my ears back then whenever I got started to do the play with the game, which that's what I did for the whole time while playing it. So there's your guess. And I mean, did I actually did win a few other nights? Yes, I did a few times. But did I lost a few times? Well, probably, just probably. Now, here's what's going to be next. Well, yes, the only thing that is probably next that I did mention about like my third channel because, oh, it was kind of about me and it was kind of like me and YouTube for a little bit of like the complete talk for no reason because I actually just wanted to wait until I actually didn't want to start keep bragging about like, oh, when is my third channel returning back or whatever, but like I said, I am going to consume to actually convince or reconvince YouTube to have my third channel reinstated, even though it's been a while for like a couple of like, I don't know, years or maybe. Like whenever like the events of 2024 is kind of finished, then that's when I might want to be like coming into like 2025 and see how everything remains being completely being chilled and relaxed, which that I do want to be on a 100% on the clear for some good occasions that I'm okay with agreeing on some sides of YouTube and disagreeing on some sides of YouTube, which like I said, it's not always been about me or YouTube going on for some reason because there are some things I don't want to be involved, or sometimes I might have to be the one talking for some kind of reason. So I've been pretty chilled with YouTube for some part of time back in 2019 when my second channel finally got reinstated. But the only pissed hard thing I didn't like to win was just a little bit more different that I didn't understand. Was a bit different because seriously, my second channel did so well and it got pretty much good on the slap on the wrist. But whenever my third channel didn't, I'm like, what was that about? I mean, I did still said and confirmedly that I was going to rechange the profile pic, which I was going to change the profile picture. That's what I was going to do on my third channel until it was a little bit too late when YouTube just had to say, it was like, you know what? Well, I'm just going to turn it off. Like, I was going to do that. I was really going to fix that. But again, I know it's going to be a little bit of a hard way to completely explain with different parts of the time, which I want to say this to be clear with everybody that it's not about going to be me or YouTube in a bit of a situation or whatever between which side it is, which, yeah, it's just never been about that anyway. So I probably am going to move on anyway, since likely that I am probably am going to make like a just whenever like the time is right when YouTube actually finally gets my third channel up, then I actually will be pretty happy for them to do that, since I really have been kind of waiting for them to like get them to have like my third channel being reinstated again, because I've actually been kind of right with a little bit of the thing, exactly because my third channel didn't have anything to do with any of this, exactly with me like going to say is like, oh la da 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 or la da 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 da, which again, I'm just saying, for straight real, I just am saying, okay, I'm just saying. So here's what I'm going to be mentioning next, about what I'm going to be talking about next. So here's what I'm going to say next, is that whenever I did a reaction video back on like pretty much like February exactly, that I did mention the fact that, well, I actually did turn 21 for a good reason, because I kind of did think a little bit about it, and I decided was like, hey, how about if I could actually do a reaction video? Well, actually pretty much saying is like happy birthday on my B-day, which saying is like, and everybody to enjoy to say is like, happy B-day, man, happy B-day. Which, I actually have kind of been thinking about doing a few bits, some good things with that, with like adding the reaction video to it, and then absolutely kind of adding like kind of like adding the reaction video and then like B-Day a little bit. So, anyway, that's just what I want to say, but I'm just not going to say much anyway. But here's what I'm finally am going to talk about. Stupid Total Drama All Stars. Now, the reason why I put all of them in X's, including Courtney, yeah. A few other things went down completely in the shithole, and a few times in the rabbit hole. That was so bad that I never liked season 5 ever again. Even though I might be mentioning this now already, almost close like we did New Year's, which I'm not going to still talk on that forever, which seriously, that part of that is over. Which again, even if I have to come to this already again, which if people did or didn't notice about how I was running and going on about me explaining like starting a few a little bit rages for a few times whenever I was not kind of happy with the way how the result of Cartoon Network should have really would have knew this already, which season 5 already sucks. It already does suck. Because the reason why I put X's on like Courtney, Mike, Sam, Cameron, and Sierra was because most likely some of these guys were all bad. Except it's Zoe, because Zoe was actually good in the season. I mean, I think I have to say Zoe was kind of better in season 5. That's how I think Zoe did so well. I think before she started realizing after when this so-called Mal character started to try to pretend to be Mike and started to actually cheated the challenges to send everybody in a bus. Like literally everyone in the bus. Like seriously, I cannot actually effing believe how that was so far to be so yet again unbelievable between by seeing who should have been deserved to be the winner. Which I mean, the only thing I could think who deserved to be the winner was kind of likely to be Courtney. Now, I'm not saying that she would have won this, but I would rather say it anyway by saying Courtney would have rather deserved winning season 5 in a huge good straight win. Like, I mean, she would have rather just freaking break up with Scott, which I seriously am now going to smack talk on Scott and say complete huge BS shit on on Scott. Yes, I meant saying Scott just from the season, just from the season. Now, why did I hated Scott? The reason why I hated Scott on season 5, I didn't technically hate him on season 4 until I just said it now on season 5, was because Scott was a complete waste of huge dog shit. Because the only thing I hated about Scott in this season of number 5 was because I hated him when he actually took so many advantages on Courtney on different reasons that it was pretty stupidly unfair that I'm like, bruh, come on. Like, how is this even for real? Like, seriously, I already hate the ship between my saying Scott X Courtney. Like, nah, man. Nah. That I really hated for torture. I really hated it. Even especially even worse is Gwen and Cameron. Seriously, that shit is already making me mad. Which I've hated the shipping between two shippings are completely effectively annoying. Seriously, it is. And then the only thing I liked it better in the fact that, oh yes, I'd rather like the fact of Sierra considering to be with Cody for the freaking last time already. Which Sierra had so many massive problems. Like her functioning brain didn't make any sense before between anything else. That Sierra didn't get her brain in check. Like, I don't get why she had to be the only one to be complete of a stalker the whole time. Like, even though I'm gonna be the only one talking for that for no reason, is because I hated the fact when Sierra was just trying to kind of likely not make any sense to be completely huge likely to be a stalker and a freaking weirdo. Like, literally a weirdo. Like, she was completely a huge problem of being a weirdo. Like, she was completely a weirdo. Like, does anybody not get the fact how I've seen this from different times of every season? Whenever I see a camera being pointed or paused, whenever I hear a word that Sierra says out of her mouth, I started like, yo, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Like, seriously. Or even add a clip on me saying it was like, just imagine if like the guy says it by saying it's like, you need to shut the fuck up. Like, seriously. I really am saying that I never liked it Sierra for being completely annoying. Like, I liked it the fact after when, even though I don't like Cameron as much as I would have convinced otherwise by saying is like, Cameron was kind of actually right a little bit, I think. Like, I'm not giving Cameron some sense of credibility of him being so well in season 5 because he was completely stupid to be in there, which he did say was like, Sarah, Cody is home. Like, she was getting so confused by the way how she was saying like, Cody? Like, I'm like, can somebody please shut the frick up on this person? Can literally anybody please shut her up? Like, I just don't get what the frick was that about. Like, I started really hating season 5 until things went really bad. So bad. Like, even though I never liked any of the other contestants, that some of them were okay, which I still liked my guy Duncan, but I kind of did agree or disagreed about, like, Duncan's role of, like, being favored or not so much likely, because I've always kind of looked at my guy that was, like, Drew Nelson, that still plays the guy as Duncan, which I always liked him to be as much more likely to say. So, that's just what I want to say. And also, the voice of Alejandro effing sucks. The reason why I never liked it Alejandro from season 3 and 5 was because he got so worse in there. Like, seriously, even though that he was trying to outplay Mike, more likely known as Mao, for likely the most likely before he discovered pretty much more likely the true nature behind Mao. Before like Mao or pretty much my guy Duncan went to juvie, then yeah, that's exactly why I kind of hate him, the voice actor behind most likely Mao. Because I've already hated when he did that. Like, seriously, I've already hated him far as enough that I've already hated him whatever he was doing. So otherwise, I kind of hated most likely Alejandro and Mao. I've kind of always hated it, so yeah, I hated the voice actor behind Alejandro in season 5. That it didn't turn out to be a very good voice impression of Alejandro. Like, I'm not saying that I've always been on different technic sides with saying is like, oh, who done it good or who done it bad. It's just because I never liked it the way how the character just goes on and goes on, but whatever. I mean, it's fine whenever they actually still consider that Alejandro and Heather were still meant to be together, which, that's fine. I really don't give a damn about Heather. I really don't. I just seriously don't. But until I actually finally said was, finally! I mean, even though I still hated season 3, which all of it was completely whining, moaning, bitching the whole fucking time, when it was all about like Tossity so many times in the fucking ring. literally many times in a row. Which I don't care if I swear anyways. I just don't care. I really don't. So, back to my point of discussion. So, the only thing I'm going to say about whenever, Joe. Okay, so about Joe, she kind of was doing pretty good in the season of number 5, which I mean, she was a better leader than Heather was because, if I had to pick a gymnastics woman between a complete sass queen, that is Heather, the only option I'd say was completely is Joe. I'd say Joe was already better because yeah, and then also for Lightning, yeah, Lightning was kind of more of a bodyguard, more likely convincing likely. It's just to send Scott down the freaking cliff before he had to deal with Thane, the shark, which I'm not completely am surprised by the fact that I think Lightning was already better than Scott was because I think the jog muscle that was Lightning still was better. That's just all I would have to say right now, was that he was kind of better until then he had to start doing something anyway. Now, here's the next one I'm going to talk about next. So, here's the next one I'm going to talk about usually. So, the next one I'm going to talk about next is that, let's see. Okay, so the shout out, by the way, I actually was going to say in the murder drone. Okay, so I did give a shout out to this guy because the reason why I gave him a shout out was because I actually was on his stream in the playlist. I was on his stream earlier because things were kind of a little okay afterwards before me and the murder drone were talking on the stream yard together, which I kind of did met some amazing people, which I kind of did met some amazing people on StreamYard after when, it was pretty good. I actually did want to be on some streams with some people sometime. Even in the near future, I might be, or whatever, because likely I don't have to always do streaming on StreamYard for every day. I mean, I could be on people's streams anyways, because that's why I have a playlist of it, which I've already, made the first one anyway on the playlist. But whenever there's a second, I'll let myself know anyway about that forever when I feel free to join or whatever on just which stream it is anyway. So yeah, I did give him a shout out and he was pretty happy that he finally was enjoying the shout out I just gave for him, which I did kind of give him only two shout outs because they were only going to be a better reason of me giving him two shout outs anyway, so I kind of decided was giving him two shout outs. Now, I'm going to be talking about Total Drama Pocketail Island. Okay, so about Total Drama Pocketail Island, well, I think the season of the spinoff of just regularly just number 6 or a little bit of near half of 5 was kind of okay. Which I don't get the fact that I'd say which one was kind of better. I mean, everybody was not complete shit a little bit in that island for a bit. I mean, some people were, for example, some people kind of were for a bit. And after I discovered a few others that weren't pretty much useless, I think that some others were doing pretty good as I expected from different outcomes from many of the people that did so well, which was kind of good. Now, which person did I think who did better? Between whoever was a princess or a country girl, well, I kind of think Ella was more likely a better person in the season because, hey, I mean, even though she did sing sometimes, which I can't personally blame a person who does singing or whatever, because I mean, even though Chris doesn't allow other contestants to sing, because he already kind of did it on season 3 anyway. I don't get why there would be another comeback from that again for having to do singing, which I don't blame anybody who does singing, but I do say that it's kind of fine anyways, with most likely other contestants otherwise. If anybody has rewatched the whole show and stuff, then you probably might know why, because that's just what I'm just referring to. Now, all I'm gonna say here is about I'm pretty much not gonna be mentioning some BS drama that I'm not gonna be mentioning the fact about with I'm not gonna mention the individual's name because I really am not gonna mention the person's name because it involves complete big utter shit. Which, oh, trust me, I really am not wanting to be involved anyways to deal with this crap. And even though I got really sick and fucking tired of it, I really did got so tired of it. Because, I mean, seriously, I've been through enough of this shit. I really have. I really have been through enough of it. Because, like I said, It gave me so much stress that I couldn't rethink anything else other than trying to get on to move on with the drama, which I fucking moved on already. That's what I did, and that's where I put my foot down. Because if anybody wants my foot to be put down already, I'll stomp it harder to do that. And even break my freaking leg, for example, to break my freaking foot. For example, again, which I'll scream it anyways. If anybody forces me to do this again, I swear to Jesus God, which I really am not proud of it, okay? I really am not. Because seriously, if this goes on again about him mentioning me one more time, I have no other choice but to mention going on to talk to is Brandon Barlos. Which, again, I really have not gotten to talk with the individual yet, which I actually am going to say that I am not going to be teaming up with the Punisher because I will fucking never, and I seriously will never team up with that idiot. Ever. Because he can deal with his new target as he wants. He can go and deal with that person. Because I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Because seriously, all I want is to be alone. With nobody mentioning my ass about anything else in this fucking drama. Nothing else. All I want is peace to deal with stuff. Okay? That's what I want. Is having actual peace. Because like I said, once I said there's no more exposed videos. I said it personally, 100%. Is it anybody's ears in worms or something? Jesus Christ. So, anyway, sorry if I had to be the one yelling a little bit, which I do again apologize. It's just because I don't want to be involved anyways again, because the only thing I'd rather learn my lesson is to move the fuck on with my life. Not other to be in petty drama for bullshit. Which that's what I want in life, is to move the fuck on. So anyway, let's just get to the next one I want to deal with next. So here's the next thing I want to be talking about next. So the only thing I want to be talking about next is about me mentioning about Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location Revisited. Okay, so about Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location Revisited, I actually definitely played the game and did decide to play the game because I actually did wanted to play the game and just say how awesome the game even was already, because I think the thing, by the way, was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good. Even though I had to come back for the revisit already for the enjoyment and the amazingness of the enjoyment, then yes, I actually was pretty proud of it. I was very proud of it for this day and very much likely on, very excitedly to enjoy it for anyways, for the good statement and stuff. Which, yes, I did love the fact how good it was about doing another revisit again for the fifth game I just already did already. So, here's the next one I'm going to be talking about next. That I'll be mentioning this. Here's what I'm going to say next. Is that I'll be talking about is Friday Night Funkin'. So, Friday Night Funkin'. Okay, so about Friday Night Funkin', I actually want to be talking about here about Friday Night Funkin' is that I want to be mentioning for some good things is that yes, I think Friday Night Funkin' was actually pretty good because I like the story mode of all of it. Because hell, the story mode, I'm gonna pretend I just didn't hear that. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that noise because I'm like, what the hell was that? Anyway, I'm not going to say otherwise, but here's what I'm going to say. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. Okay, so the only thing I'm going to say about Friday Night Funkin' is that, how good was Friday Night Funkin'? Okay, so how good the game was Friday Night Funkin' turned out so amazing. It turned out really amazing with the game with Friday Night Funkin' because the reason why I liked Friday Night Funkin' was because I liked the story. I liked the story mode where it made sense. Most likely where the story mode made actual sense. Because again, I was not into mods. Just remember that, everybody, that I am again have my choice, my right, and always to say my right and my choice. Again, I don't want to be forced by anybody else by saying it's like they're gonna be moaning, crying, and bitching about it. About me saying it's like, oh, play the mod. And I'm gonna say is, get the fuck out of here. That's the middle finger for it to say is to shut the hell up. About me saying is like, I'm never gonna play mods. Ever. On Friday Night Funkin'. Because I don't want to hear another word out of it. Ever. Seriously. Do I make myself clear? Okay? So, yes, the story mode I liked was pretty better. I like the fact I like to say that my favorite characters were Daddy Dearest and Tank Man, because the reason why I liked those characters was because I liked the way how Daddy Dearest was actually doing so well, because I liked the beat of Daddy Dearest, of his music. I liked his music. It was so pretty good. It was amazing, and I liked it, and it was pretty good. Now about on with Tank Man, yes. I think I have to say that Tank Man did so well, even though that he did roast it a few times with a few other swearing on a few times, on a cutscene a few times already, which I think it was pretty good. And I kind of liked the way how Tank Man was actually assuming to pretty much be roasting girlfriend after when he kind of consumed about like mentioned the fact about like wearing her old clothes, about like it was mentioning to Mommy Mirrors, I think, after when he did mention that. So, yeah, that's just what I would have to say right now. Okay, so the next thing I do want to mention, by the way, about with like, however, and oh yes, I'll still say that, oh yeah, I'll be saying is like, who would I rather smash or pass? Like, the only thing I'd rather smash is Mommy Mirrors. Is hell yes. Hell to the big yes. That I would say is hell yes from Mommy Mirrors. Like, oh, hell damn yes. That's exactly what I would say is hell yeah. Just hell freaking yes. So here's what the next one I'm going to be talking about is Total Drama Redunculous Race. So about the Redunculous Race, that it was kind of more of a hold on, let me just like take a deep breath anyway with my throat or my voice, so that way I'll just have to keep on talking and talking. So yeah, even though it's going to be a long thing anyway, but who cares? I mean, it's kind of differently worth anyway about me talking of it anyway, so let's just get it on with anyways. Man, I definitely needed this anyway with my throat. Okay, so what did I kind of like between in Total Drama with Redunculous Race? So the people I liked in the Redunculous Race was Owen and Noah. And then, of course, was the surf dudes that were like Jeff and Brody. That seriously, I like the contestants that were pretty good back from like the last seasons of number one, which I liked that very much. Really, very much. Like seriously, I like the fact when Owen and Noah actually came back. And then, of course, with like Jeff and Brody, well, I liked when Jeff returned to be back, but when I saw Brody, I'm like, wait, is this his best friend? Like Jeff and Brody? That's cool. That's actually pretty cool for them to have. Like, they're pretty good, like, teams. Like, I never noticed when all this was happening, when that was actually just happening. So, yeah, I'm not gonna probably mention like another 2 hours of me mentioning like the redunculous race and stuff, which anybody could probably be taking a look at that anyway, so that's probably what my scene was. Now, what I'm going to be saying about next is like the joy of creation, and then pretty much like everything else that, oh yeah, the joy of creation series, which was like the reborn, and then like the story mode, and then the Halloween edition. All of these games were so terrifyingly amazing, except the fact that the story mode too just turned out so badass. Like it got so dark. Like it literally got so dark when I actually saw that. Like it got so complete dark. Like literally dark. So yeah, that's just what I want to say already, because it was super dark. It was literally amazing, and it was so bloody fantastic that most likely all of that was pretty good. So the next one I'm going to be talking about next is about me mentioning about like the weekend of like Friday Night Funkin' already, which I'll still mainly continue with the parts anyway, since like all of them are completely was finished, but some others are really coming to be finished anyway, because I did heard a bit of a rumor about with like Spooky Month and then with like Tank Man having like a about like a mix thing, like having like a mix, or a little bit more likely including into the Pico update, which I kind of did heard about two rumors that might come around with like 2025, for example, about these two characters are actually going to be merged to be in there, and like by saying is choose or dipshit, which is pretty much likely in the Pico update. But to be quietly honest with everybody else, is that I actually am going to be excited when that even happens. And also, imagine if there was like a Daddy Dearest one too. I'd be really enjoying that too. Trust me, I will. And then that's just what I probably want to say afterwards, otherwise. So that's just what I want to be saying. But like I said, I probably won't be getting to most of the things sometimes with me, like talking about like loads of different similarity ones from all the way from January nearly to December, which that's fine because I probably would have like not make like a big extra long ass video because it's just that I got lots of things I just had to deal with anyway for some times of otherwise. Now, so let's just get to the fact that I actually am going to get to something anyway, which if yeah, I've already did like made and talk about was movie Sonic all the time. I barely talked about like from 1 and 2, and then of course was a series of like movie Knuckles, which I already did talked about that anyway. And then I did myself was a water challenge thing, which I definitely enjoyed very much likely because trust me, I drank 2 gallons of water while jugging it all the way from my throat and see how interesting that was. Like again, it did have to be like taking things seriously on that one because it was just only for something whenever I didn't get any bored or anyway, because I just didn't get bored of me doing it because I just really wanted to like give it a try and just wanted me to do it for something for entertainment for everybody, so that way that everybody would understand that. So there you go. And even though, like I said, otherwise that was just pretty much interesting. So let's just continue and continue all the way from otherwise that yeah, pretty much. All right, blah blah blah. I know, I know. And yes, I did talk about like the zombies series and stuff, which I did talk about it lots and lots. Okay, so I think we're just gonna get near all the way to November. So, anyways, October was pretty okay, but until I got a few, from Discord that I really am not gonna highly mention as much anyway because I just really am not, because I really couldn't take it anymore because I just really didn't want to hear any of it anymore because listen, I just want to be a guy who enjoys his fucking life. That's it. And just enjoy things from outside. That's what I want to do. Even like I said, I can't always be everywhere else from different times by either being inside of different platforms. It's just true, okay? Like whenever, like I said, when I have time, then I have the time. Okay? Because, like I said, I just don't care for any reason what's going to be going on. Because, like I said, I gave up so many times for being nice. I've been trying to be nice, but when it goes too far my limit, that's when I start saying is I don't give a shit or fuck about me talking on Discord anymore. Because nobody seemed to listen at all anymore. Whatever it was like supposed to be a good group chat. But when it started turning to be shit, it was so bad that I want to be out of this, which I really am. And the only thing I actually will be out of my freedom for Discord of its sake was that, again, when I'm done not being on Discord anymore, I will be making an announcement. Which, like I said, it's not going to be far enough as I will be mentioning it anyway. But remember, to the people on my Discord, remember, if you piss me off, and if you get me angry, remember, I will stomp my big foot down in this ground, and I will, and I seriously will, be deleting my Discord account, okay? Because I can't take it anymore. With everybody being assholes on Discord, which I'm not talking about my fans, I'm talking about like my few people who didn't understand to listen anyway. When it's just always like about saying is like, okay, here's the real question. If it's about me, like, if it's been about me on my Discord, like, of course, it's like on my name, like being on the group chat, okay, then why start spamming me for many times on many pens then? If anybody could have not wanted to talk about anybody else, like, seriously, talk to somebody else. That it doesn't have to do with me, okay? I don't care. I seriously don't fucking care. Like, again, when I saw something on the other group chat that was already different, people were already talking to anybody else. Like this one person's talking to this person. Like, then another person starts talking to another person. That actually wasn't me. Okay? Whenever I looked, it still wasn't me, okay? It still wasn't. And it still didn't get pinned by me. Like, can anybody please just be like that kind of group? Like, I'm fucking tired of hearing many times about many fake bullshits as I keep hearing it every time, and I don't give a damn care about, like, oh, it's gonna be waged by fake guns. Will you absolutely fucking knock it off? And I don't actually care if I kept saying many F words, because it's just to the point of the line that I can't take it anymore of any of this. Because I want to see an actual responsible group of my community group on my Discord for once. Other than just start saying is like, oh, we don't give a damn about peace. Dude, learn to respect the law of peace. Okay? Learn to respect it. Like, learn to fucking respect it. I want peace, not war. What part of anybody can't get actual common sense in their skull to not understand any of that? Like, I don't blame Iceheart for anything, but I did kind of blame him a little bit from Christmas that I did not like hearing that other word anymore. I was sick and tired of hearing it. And also, does this face look like I give a shit? It doesn't! I liked regular Christmas, which I'm going to talk about it anyways, whenever I start talking about something else. Because you see this face when I get stressed. Because listen, here's a good old saying. When I get stressed, I don't like it. Because when I get this stress on the stress meter, you do not want me to get mad. Because whenever you see me mad, I'm going to start pounding the heck out of anybody else of the group chat on Discord. Because I will be going full Donkey Kong to shut everyone else up. So that way that nothing doesn't keep on continuing to get me angry. Because I want to see an actual peace treaty agreement. That I was actually talking to another person, which was a girl, which was a different kind of person on Discord that I don't know of, but I was talking to her while I was actually wanting to have a full agreement, a full peace treaty agreement that I really wanted to be agreeing on for once. And then what did it started doing? Everybody continued being complete, almost likely nonsense trash for a holy amount of the time. Seriously. I want to say this to my Discord people in the group chat. When does everybody learn to start to grow the fuck up? Okay? When does anybody not learn about actual consequences? About listening to what I'm saying already? I mean, it's okay by giving me questions, but whenever I see too many spamming or whatever, you guys are about to start seeing a true reality checkup. Okay? I'm not kidding anymore. I don't like being pushed around. Especially, I don't like being played around when people start talking about, actually by saying that no one's not making sense what I'm saying, by saying it's like, oh, I have something that's going to be likely of my sexuality. Well, guess what, okay? I'm into girls for the last time already. Because I am, okay? I don't give a shit. And I'm not gay, okay? I don't care if I said it already. It's 100% been fake. The test is bullshit. The test is 100% bullshit dumpster fire for the whole shit of it, okay? I'm tired of hearing doing this anymore. Because when I say this has been said and done, I don't want to hear a complaint from the people who respond on Discord or nearly YouTube. I don't want to hear this anymore. I don't want to hear it. I want my freedom, and all I want is to spend my life with the people I care about. Okay? Enough is enough. Because I seriously am not deleting this either. Okay? It's already going to be said and done. Which, if anybody doesn't want to realize it, then get off. Okay? Get off my YouTube already. Or even especially, get off my Discord. And if you want to hear an actual apology that is 100% real, then that's what I want to hear it. And I don't want to be hearing the AI ones. Okay? I want to be hearing like actual people talking. Besides hiding the curly in the shadows by saying like, oh, we're going to be using AI to defend ourselves. Enough of the bullshit. I say it's fucking enough. It's enough. Which I've been trying to hold my anger off for so many days. And this is exactly what I'm seeing on the Discord for nowadays. Because like I said, I will not chill off until people start learning reality. Okay? I want to see actual people in my Discord of like 9 people on Discord just start realizing to what I'm saying. It's because I can't always be on Discord every time. Because also, I'm not a Discord moderator. Okay? I just am not. I've been always been a YouTuber. I've always been on for YouTube for so many days. I've always liked YouTube better than Discord. I've always liked that option. Because you know what? If this goes again, I'll tell you guys this. If this continues on Discord, I will have no choice but to delete my Discord account forever and poof it away. Because once I keep being pissed off or getting completely bullied, which seriously, I don't like being bullied by people who don't understand what I'm talking about. Because when I say this is done, okay? Because I really want to control my stress, to take my meter off completely zero, and have full limited 100% peace. Okay? Not backwards talk, just regular talk. That's it. Because I've been a man the whole time. And also, I know what I'm doing with my life, okay? Nobody does not need to tell me what I want to do with my time, okay? I don't care. On Discord, actually. Just the Discord kind. Not my YouTube kind. I've always still liked being on with YouTube anyways. But when it's just on Discord with my group chat, I start getting fucked up anyways. For when nobody listens. Like, whenever I keep hearing a spam by saying Devin-Foxy, 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 then explain me this then. Why are you responding this anyways? Like, why are you spamming it anyways? When it's just so unfair anyway to my life. I want a change. Even though that this is going to get old. At some point where I don't think it's funny. Because once I'm realizing this real fast, then I want to hear an actual response from people on Discord. And I'm not playing any jokes. I'm 100% dead ass serious, not to be funny. I remained to be serious the whole time. And also, don't think I've ever been a dumbass, okay? I've always been a smartass for a few similar times because I just don't like being the way how I'm going to be saying otherwise. Because, hey, I have different methods in things, in different changes and expressions. That's it. So, I'm sorry, guys, if I ever gotten this angry already. It's just that I really want to move on with my life and start actually doing responsibility. Like actually being a fucking adult. Which I already am still being an adult. Because I cannot be handling with many people that I associate talking with. Okay? I only trusted the only people who I do is Pringle. That oh yes, I still trust that dude. Always. I've always trusted him for a bit likely than some other people. And then I only trusted like the person that was like a girl person, which I can't be assuming the name of, which it'll be a little bit of a hard name to be adding in anyway. So, and I will especially say that me and Iceman will kind of agree on some points, but whenever it's just like when he starts not listening to me, I get real pissed angry. I really get pissed. A lot. So he's kind of a little bit on the maybe of being still trusted for some times. But when it's just everybody else that still doesn't listen, I actually don't want to hear another word by saying it's like, oh, like, I don't want to hear any of this. I don't want to hear it. And I'm not taking it back until somebody of my Discord owns everything up. Like, literally, own everything to me right now. Because I'm not taking it back until I want to hear an actual peace treatment. Like a peace treaty. Okay? I want to hear an actual peace treaty that is normal for once, that doesn't interfere with war or whatever. I only want peace in life. That's it. And get good stuff for life. Like, literally, get good things in life. That's all I want to do. But until anybody else didn't listen, that's their own fault, not mine. So don't point the pin on me just because I'm being right. Doesn't mean I have to be the only one who completely doesn't have to get false answers anyway. Because remember, if you start getting me angry, there's going to be actual talking consequences for whatever I'm going to start actually explaining to all of that. Okay? So remember, do not test my limits. I've already been through this so many times that it just never was funny to begin with. Even when I did got back from Boise, this is the kind of shit that gets me angry multiple times for whenever nobody couldn't be nice to me whenever it was like nearly Halloween. I'm like, what the fuck was this about? Like, chill the fuck off. Like, literally, chill the fuck off. So, anyways, still again do apologize. Still do apologize. Anyway, I'm gonna have to calm down before the end of this video is done. So, anyways, yeah, let's just continue going up anyways. So, okay. So let's just go somewhere this is gonna actually be a good thing. That isn't a bad thing. Okay, so I'm gonna be talking about like the reason why my throat was actually raspy. Okay, so the reason why my throat was actually bugging me was because my throat was blocked because due to the fact of germs, by the way. Like, it was just germs, by the way, that actually was like bugging me, by the way. But if anybody does know what I'm does if anybody does or doesn't know what I'm talking about with me by saying is like, oh, the germs were kind of like blocking my throat, blocking my voice and stuff or whatever. So yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna say right now. Yeah, so after when it got better for a few days or a few years, that's exactly when I started getting back with my throat and stuff. So, anyways, yeah. And then one more last thing I did make was a Christmas video, by the way, which was a late Christmas video. So, anyways, all right. So, without that being said, everybody, I do want to say is I wish you guys a merry new, happy New Year, by the way, and just say is that okay, even though that we're not in 2025 yet, which we might be, so yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to swallow the lozenges so that way it just wouldn't get me to continue talking. So, in the result of more likely of 2024, okay, so was 2024 a good year or a bad year? Well, after when it started reflecting a few things I just didn't like about a little bit more halfway the end of 2024, I still kind of like the fact when likely some parts of it got good in 2024, which more likely some other ones got pretty good. But when most likely half of the end was all of it, I started to actually get more mad than talking about the actual thing. So in my result, I'm going to say this in my own language that most likely that it was pretty good. That 2024 was pretty okay, but except it when it was already near likely October of Halloween. Yeah, I didn't really kind of do anything for Halloween anyway. I just kind of stayed home anyway because I just didn't like going back to doing the corn place thing again. I just didn't like doing the corn maze anyway because I really have a problem with chainsaws, and I always do for the rest of my life. Always. I do, and I will. And I've always hated aliens too. I do. So, anyway, just want to say that for as a matter of the fact, by the way, it's just that, yeah, 2024, from almost likely from a bit of the middle, was good. I think I kind of give it a little bit of 80%, but until there were a few little bit more huge, super amount of bit of problems for a few other times, whatever was kind of involved for stupid shit, then yeah, it was kind of likely being completely stupid. And then as in for likely pretty much halfway the end of the other ones, yes, most likely some of them were thumbs up. They were pretty good. Until I still have to say that some of them were good, I'll still not like the fact and say that even if it was some videos that were perfect or some of them weren't, then that's just all I want to say for right now. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to give this one a like and comment and subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. Thank you. And also, by the way, here's one more thing that I'm going to be saying before I hop off and get going. Was that I'm just not in the mood today anyway, because I did really wanted to be talking about stuff that I really wanted to be getting on with my life and just see which reaction video I really wanted to react to next. But until then, it had to be involved with this still. About that I still couldn't take it anymore of Discord because okay, so in the beginning I really wanted to be in a low profile because the reason why I wanted to be in a low profile is because I don't want to be the guy that's like a fat Discord moderator for many and many hours of being in there. So remember, I will have a choice by either having it gone. Because the next second if I hear any of this again, if there's going to be multiple problems and multiple absolute everything that goes in there, that of my Discord is going to get the shutting the shit off. It'll be snapped. It'll be out of existence forever. If anybody tries not to listen on my Discord, that's my group people that doesn't listen, then that's exactly when it's going to go bye-bye. There'll be no more chances. There'll be no more reconciling anything anymore. Because when I say I'm standing up for myself, then I'm doing it. And it's not like I'm being a complete asshole. I'm just doing this to protect myself in my entire life. So that way I don't have to go anywhere further than anything else. Because all I wanted was peace. Actual peace in Discord. But until anything else was going in a hell basket, it continued freaking chaos. And I wanted it to stop. There's gonna be an old saying. My saying is this: when does this stop? Okay? When does this shit stop? I seriously am asking. When does this stop? Okay? I'm being asking this right now. When does it stop? I'm being honest. When? Oh, I know the answer. It's never. So my answer to that is no. I will not talk on my Discord with the group anymore if this continues being more fervor. Because remember, when I'm taking actions, I'm taking serious action. Because I don't want to be played around anymore. Like I'm some kind of person by saying it's like, oh, let's shove the like the popular YouTuber guy. Let's say it's like, I'm pushing this guy. I'm pushing this guy. It's enough. And I don't care if I raise the sound of my voice anymore. Okay? I'm done. And I actually will have justice. Okay? When it stops, I'm deleting my own Discord. It will still be gone by the next or whatever, because like I said, I'm figuring out anyways until I want to hear people actually saying the word sorry. That we'll never do it again, and I don't want to hear any lying from whenever people roll their eyes around by saying it's like, yeah, we're sorry. Like, I don't want to hear that anymore, okay? If I hear this again, we're done. I'll actually say I'm cutting all contacts off, especially that I will be consuming to leave. And that's when I'll have my final efforted choice. That I'll be mentioning this on my YouTube as well. Okay? When I say it's done, it's over. Because I don't want to hear any more of this than it has to be. Okay? And I'm sorry again if this has to really keep going on and on. But when I wanted this to stop, I'm being dead serious for real. And I don't care if I have to make this as a complete hour because I really want this to be off my chest for once. Because like I said, I actually am taking the biggest pill of all time anyway. Because I want to be free forever on my group chat. Forever. Like, whenever I wanted to be removed, it keeps continuing to keep sending me back. And I got pissed, and pissed. For so many times that I started to actually fucking cry. I started to fucking cry when that started to happen. I was fucking sad. Okay? I wanted peace. But when this continues, I got really angry. And it started to make me snap. Because I couldn't defend myself anymore. I couldn't really defend myself. Because I was brutally being shitted on Discord for so many times in a row. Because I wanted somebody to have my back. But when this was happening, nobody else was not listening to me. Except a few people didn't. Like, there were only like some people that actually have my back anyways, that I'm not going to be mentioning some like people's names on my own Discord. But like I said, when I wanted this to be gone, for whatever I'm going to do, it's going to poof off until I find more evidence anyway to have my old Discord being gone. Because I'm never going to come back on Discord until I hear somebody wanting to own their mistakes. And I don't care. Because when I say rules are rules, they're actually rules that I actually did agree with pretty much likely Iceheart, known as Iceman, that I definitely had an agreement with him by having a peace treaty with him to talk with him anyways on my group Discord chat. Because, again, I was really tired of it. I really was. So, anyway, guys, I am probably going to get off right now because I just really am right now. So, for now, guys, I really want to say this is I wish you guys a very good Happy New Year's in 2025 because I hope that 2025 gets a better year than this. So, without that being said, I really do appreciate this once again. And as for the people who I'm not associating anymore, is Dylan. Because he didn't listen to a single word. And I mean a single word that he did not completely listen. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk to him again. Because you know why? When he starts talking to a fake, that's a faker. I don't care if it was a fake who and a fake whom and a fake this. It's been done. I'm never talking to Dylan again. Because you know why? I'm no longer associated to him ever. Because it's done. Because whenever this goes on, you know what I'm saying. It's DONE. Done. It's finito. Bye bye. You still did a okay life a little bit by talking with me for a bit, but when this continued on, it made me angry. So you know what? I hope to say that Dylan, if I see your face around here in my YouTube channel again, I am blocking you forever if you start talking to me. If you start talking to me, I'm blocking you. I am dead serious to you, Dylan. Which I'm talking about like a different person that actually mentioned me on my mentions anyway. Because I mean, I'm only talking to him anyway by me saying this. Is if you talk to me on my YouTube or Discord, then I'm blocking you off. I really am. And I'm never going to talk to this guy again. And then, as in for likely Mike, known as like Sounds Record, well, I'm going to say that he was kind of an okay person to begin with, but until he started to like be a little suspicious on a few things that he didn't permanently understand about. That, okay, whenever it was like the Thanksgiving stream that he said that I love you, dude, what the fuck was that? Do you realize what I'm just trying to tell you right now is that, okay, when you try to love somebody, you gotta say that I love you as a friend. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck was that about? Like, I still didn't expect that Mike 48 said that. And I'm like, dude, that's fucking gay. Okay? That's actually fucking gay. Seriously, dude, can you at least just say that I love you as a person? Nothing else more. Before I could have moved on with my life. Well, that stream should have been done by now. And of course, I know it was going to argue anyways, because I seriously didn't care. Because I mean, next time, that there isn't going to be a stream about that either. Next year, I think. Next year. So, anyway, like I said, there are going to be a few people I'm going to write down who I really do trust, don't trust, mid trust, or whatever. I'm going to be writing all of that whenever I actually look on my Discord anyways. Because like I said, if anybody doesn't listen, I'm putting some others in the drop, which means below under, completely no longer trusted or associated ever in my community. And also, guess what, Dylan? You continue not to listen to me, which I'm no longer surprised by your complete idiocy anymore. I just don't care what you're saying. I don't fucking care. I really don't. Because you know what? I had a hard life anyways, okay? That's all I did for a living. That's all I'm doing. And if you don't like the way how you talk to me like this, then why be here? Okay? You could have been anywhere else than this if you started to say otherwise. Because, again, that's all I'm going to say. So, as in for Mike, I probably will have to, like, give my re-second of thoughts of that, by the way, about Mike, about, like, Mike 48. Because, like I said, there were a few suspicious things from other suspicious people that were on my Discord group chat. That a few others were pretty much were suspicious. A few others were. Which, like I said, I'm going to be testing and testing to see if some others are. But for now, like I said, I'm not taking that back, and I'm not redoing this because once it's been final, it has been set. Okay, we can't be rechanging it anymore. Can't do anything. I'm talking about zero, nana, zero. So, anyways, man, I talked it a long, most likely the 1 damn hour. Jesus Christ. But I'm really gonna say again, I'm sorry I had to get this out of my chest. It's because I had so much stress. And I mean, my friend should have probably seen this too. About how he feels about that my Steam friend that should be knowing this too about how I felt or react. because it went too far. It sincerely went pretty huge. That's too far because it got so far to the point where it went so suspicious. And even hell, whenever Zayn comes around in 2025, me and him are gonna talk. I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna be mad at him anyway. I'm just gonna have like a one-on-one discussion talk with him whenever that me and Zayn will be talking. Because I mean, yeah. For now, guys, I'm probably gonna get off. I just really am a little bit pissed anyway, and I just really wanted to get this video over with anyway. But without that being said, everybody, thank you guys very much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a like and comment and subscribe to be notified. And without that being said, I am definitely going to probably relax my mind and listen to meditation music while I'm probably down there, and probably will and pretty much calm myself down anyway, because 2024, let me just say that this year 2024, of the percent that were good, I kind of gave it a little bit more of 60. But whenever more few others were on like the bad ones, it went near 70, which 2024 was the baddest year I had ever went and did in my life. 2024 was horrible. Like, I'm talking about like my kind of problem in 2024 that was involved in my Discord or whatever about some whoever. Now, thank you guys. And I again, once again, say I briefly, deeply approve this message. And I will say this again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying. And I'll probably see you guys in 2025. And I'll especially say that I'll thank you very much for watching this. And yeah, I'll see you guys in 2025. And yeah, anyways, goodbye, everybody. Thank you. And this is Golden Devin-Foxy Mastered. And I'll see you guys later and again to once to be always again next time. And I will definitely be assured to talk to Iceman on Steam, because I will talk to him associatedly, one in one, a motto, that I will talk to him fully, and I will talk to him hugely, fully, 100% conversation between me and Iceman, that I am starting to be this serious to actually jump off Discord and will delete it forever. Okay? Whenever I'm being serious, that's just what I'm going to say for the manyest times I've ever said in this video. So anyway, thank you, goodbye, and I'll see you guys in the next year, 2025. Until I actually plan some good things that comes into next year. So thank you, goodbye, and I will be off my YouTube channel for pretty much a break anyway, because I definitely wanted to do another reaction, but until then, I still had to jump on in it anyways. So, one more last time that I want to say is thank you for joining me in this amazing bit of a journey. For some parts, a bit of 2024 that were good, and some parts of 2024 were complete shit. A little bit of a shit show. So, anyways, goodbye, everyone, and I'll see you later. Goodbye. Peace out, and signing on out. Goodbye, and later. Bye.